Tropics, that's where we start. We've had Tropical Storm Gabrielle form, and now there's two other tropical waves that the National Hurricane Center has outlined to say there could be possible development here. So here's Tropical Storm Gabrielle. There's actually two clusters of storms generally associated with the energy and wave. One that you can see that it's just south circulation here, but is actually recentered with the northern part of the cluster of storms. That little uptick in explosion of storms right there. That is essentially where Tropical Storm Gabrielle is centered right now. And the latest tracks in the official outlook from National Hurricane Center follow very well with, you see the clustering of what we see, the agreement with those computer forecast tracks. The strengthening is something to watch too. Not expected to strengthen much in maintaining tropical storm status over the next few days through the rest of the week, not until the weekend, possibly becoming a Category 1 hurricane, but looking to track just east of Bermuda. Bermuda's the only folks that need to worry about this, not even the east coast of the U.S. So our first tropical wave we've already identified, south of Cabo Verde Islands here, and this is outlined to move due west here, 10-20% chance of formation next 1 to 2, 3 to 7 days. Tropical wave that's in Africa right now, set to move into the Atlantic on Friday, set to emerge. It's this particular zone showing more of a west-northwest movement to it, and also a very low chance, a 20% chance. So not much storm activity shown with the forecast of it. And we look at the forecast of the Cabo Verde Island and the leading tropical wave, there just isn't hardly anything in the way of organizations strengthening to this. So I'm not really concerned about it, and that track takes it north of the Greater Antilles as well. Here's the second tropical wave. And really, the tropical storms are muddled in data and showing where the energy is over the next few days. The big takeaway of this is that we still are not anticipating any risk to Louisiana or even the Gulf. There's a chance that maybe some of the energy wants to be entering the Caribbean with the southern extent if that energy takes over. But right now, even going ahead to 10 days out, we look at no risk for us. We're looking at temperatures here into the 80s, and Doppler radar, just to confirm, had seen some storms that have been in the region. Strong storm earlier in the day, some hail that was reported into parts of St. Helena, more Livingston parishes, I believe, is where that came out. Severe storm earlier in Macomb, that has gone away. Storms as they move south, well, they're really gone and moving a little bit closer. And you can see that there just really isn't much storm activity for us here. Back to the real-time temperatures into the high-risk forecast from here. It's ongoing. Where we've been with temperatures in the 90s. Dew point's not too bad. Those are the 80s. These are real-time 60s. We are just going to take that forecast for the next several days all the way into next week. But we may start to find our next likeliest round of widespread storms. 10% chance of the shower and storm tomorrow. We're right around 90 in many cases, just under along the coast, just over the farther north you go into the North Shore. Again, you could be 90, 95, 90, 93 here in town. Thibodaux, Houma around 90, 87, 89. Chance of the isolated storm. Temperatures I just described, 80s coast, 90 Thibodaux, Houma, 90, 93 here, and 90 to 95 North Shore. Here's the extended forecast, and we're starting to see some signs now that we have a system that'll drop in more Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday. That system and a reinforcing system dropping in may give us our next likeliest round of widespread showers and storms. Now, as I said, may, because that's 6 to 7 days away from here. So we'll continue to monitor that. In the meantime, still late season heat, not much rain, and fall begins Monday.